Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Cause we live everywhere. Cause we live everywhere. Why am I so close? Why am I so close? Back me up. Oh my gosh, back me up, bro. What's happening right now? All right. I think I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna hide the vertical. I don't think I'm gonna go on the vertical jump. That joint looks way crazy. I am super close up on the joint. Jesus Christ. I do not want to be this close. I'm sorry, y'all. What's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all coming in, man. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. So I'm actually so this live that I usually do at night, I'm actually gonna try to do this live in the evening times because I think I want to get a better turnout if I go live in the evening time. So what's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all. Locked down. What's good, fam? Appreciate you coming in, man. So instead of doing these lives during the evening time, I'm actually going to do these lives right here. So what's going on, y'all? Y'all coming in, man. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. What's up, family? What's up, family, man? Y'all already know what the vibes are, though. The vibes are always going to be what they're going to be, man. We are always talking about getting better. It's one of the things that we want to make sure that we are doing on a consistent basis is getting better. We got to talk about getting better. We got to practice getting better, man. What's going on, everybody over on Instagram? Appreciate y'all, man. I can't see you over on Instagram, so do me a favor and go ahead and hop over on the YouTube channel. You hop over on the YouTube channel, man. I will be able to see your comments when you put your comments in there, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for joining, man. I greatly, greatly appreciate y'all. Today, we're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to me, near and dear to my heart. And the reason that I say that is because it's actually what my master's degree is in today. So if you don't know, my master's degree is in conflict resolution. And tonight, I want to challenge something that most of us have been taught, right? We've been taught that conflict is bad. And if there's conflict in a relationship, conflict at work, conflict within a family, or conflict online, then something must be wrong. But what if I told you that conflict isn't the problem? The inability to manage conflict is. See, successful people don't avoid conflict because successful people understand that life doesn't get any easier. You just get better. And the better you get as you get older, conflict tends to be easier to deal with and easier to handle because you've acquired more skills to handle conflict. Successful people know how to work through it. Tonight, we're going to break down what conflict really is, how conflict actually starts, and why so many people lose relationships, jobs, opportunities, and how you can stop conflict before it destroys your future. When I was studying conflict resolution at California University of Pennsylvania, we learned something that was extremely important. And we learned this skill from I learned this skill from my time as a lifeguard. And that skill is essentially we don't save people from drowning, we prevent people from drowning so we don't have to save them. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. We don't save people from drowning. We prevent people from drowning so we don't have to save them. Conflict resolution skills are your preventative measures. Conflict resolution skills are learning how to swim so that you don't drown. Conflict resolution is learning how to ride a bike so you don't fall. Conflict resolution is your insurance policy needed in order to drive your car. Yes, you need it to drive your car, but you hope that you never use it. And that's what conflict is, man. I want y'all to just drop the word conflict in the chat for me if y'all are rocking with this, man. Thank y'all so much for the follows over on TikTok. To everybody that's over on Instagram, what's going on, y'all? Most people think that conflict means yelling. They think conflict means fighting. They think that conflict means that somebody has an attitude. No, conflict starts long before anybody raises their voice. Conflict is simply tension. Conflict happens when two ideas, two expectations, two values, two goals, or even two emotions collide. It's the biggest difference in my relationship with the child, with the mother of my first child and the mother of my second child. The reason why me and the mother of my first child will probably never get along is because we live on two opposite ends of the spectrum. We just see the world in two different views. Like she's turned left and I'm turned right. Here's the definition of conflict that I want you to remember. Conflict is a natural part of life that occurs whenever there is tension caused by competing needs, goals, values, beliefs, expectations, interests, or this one is my favorite, simply a lack of understanding. Notice I didn't say argument, I didn't say fights. Sometimes conflict happens inside you. Have you ever wanted to quit your job but realized you needed your paycheck? That's conflict. Have you ever wanted to tell somebody how you really felt, but you didn't want to lose the relationship? That is conflict. Have you ever known the right thing to do, but wanted to do something completely different? That is conflict that you have to solve within yourself. My child, my 15-year-old child, one of the things that she said to me that blew me and my wife's mind was, she said, I know to do the right thing, but there's something inside of me that keeps telling me to do the wrong thing. That is conflict. And we're going to talk about 3 types of conflict. And I think you're going to resonate with this because I'm going to compare it to a movie, right? I'm going to compare it to a movie. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man, over on Instagram. Hey, listen, if somebody needs this program, man, please go ahead and send this live to them, man. I know it's going to change, right? Quick question. What's one conflict that you've had this year that never became an argument? One conflict that you've had this year that never became an argument, right? Remember, conflict could be a lack of understanding. If you got bad credit, that is a conflict, and that's not an argument. If you don't understand how credit works, that's conflict, but it's not an argument. If you don't understand something, that is conflict. A lack of understanding is simply conflict, right? Conflict happens in 3 places. 3 places: man versus man, man versus environment, and man versus self. That's where conflict happens, right? For real. Conflict happens between people, relationships, friends, co-workers, parents, bosses. Conflict happens within yourself. That's fear. That's faith. That's comfort, right? Versus growth. What you want versus what you need. What you want versus what you know you should do. My child has this conflict within herself constantly. And this is a battle that I tell her that you have to win, right? You got to win those conflicts. Man versus environment, right? Your neighborhood, bills, schools, resources, opportunities. Sometimes life creates conflict. Sometimes life creates conflict, right? The situation that we grow up in can most of the time be conflict that we have in our lives. And that's a conflict that you yourself did not put or place upon yourself. You did not wish for this conflict upon yourself, but it's a conflict that happens because that's man versus nature or environment. If you think about it, and here's the best part about conflict. Here's the best part about conflict, y'all. Conflict is natural and conflict is supposed to happen. Conflict is supposed to be a part of your life. The problem is that you're not growing at the pace of life. So life is out conflicting you. Like the conflicts that you're dealing with are bigger than your problem solving abilities. When your problem solving abilities are weaker than the conflicts that you're facing, that's when you'll end up in bad situations. That's when you'll end up in bad situations. When the conflicts that you're dealing with are bigger than your problem solving abilities, that's when you'll end up in bad situations. Let's use something that a lot of people can relate to. Imagine 2 friends who grew up together, right? One friend starts to make money, launches a business, begins dressing differently, networking, reading books, and spending time around other successful people. The friend starts saying stuff like, yo, you switched up. You think you're better than us. Money changed you. Now, here's a question. Did money create the conflict? No. The conflict already existed simply because 2 different expectations of the friendship. One person expected loyalty, meaning stay the same. The other person believed that loyalty meant growing together. Neither person may have intended harm, but they were operating from completely different beliefs about what friendship should look like. That difference in expectations, not the money itself, created attention. This is why conflict often begins with competing values or assumptions, not with someone being the bad guy, right? If we have two competing expectations, or we get to the point where we start making assumptions, this is where conflict arises, right? If you really want to change, like if you think about the situation, what really changed? What really changed? What really changed, right? We think about, let's go deeper into the conflict, the three different types of conflict, right? This is something that I use in my speeches. This is how I know conflict is supposed to be a part of your story. This is how I know conflict is supposed to be a part of your story. Because have you ever been to a movie where everything worked out perfectly? Have you ever been to a movie where everything worked out perfectly? This would be your response. If you went to a movie and everything worked out perfectly, you would absolutely boo that movie. And the reason being is because you don't want to see everything work out perfectly. The conflict is what creates the person. Typically, there's something that a person deals with, something that challenges a person to grow. Right? Conflict challenges you to grow. Have y'all ever seen, I think it's The Dark Knight. I think it's Batman The Dark Knight, where Batman has to climb out of like this whale. Like he has to climb out of the whale of like, I think is it The Dark Knight, or is it Batman has to climb out of this whale, right? And he goes up the first time, and he's tied to the rope, and he tries to make the big jump, but he's not able to make the big jump, and he falls down, and he smacks himself, boom, hits himself, he falls all the way down, almost loses his life, right? This is a conflict that he has, and this conflict is forcing him to grow because it's challenging him and who he is. Whatever you're going through right now is challenging you to grow and challenging who you are right now. You can't be the best version of you because the next version of you requires a better version of you. Batman went down, he started training, he was doing his sit-ups, he's doing his push-ups, he's doing his pull-ups, he's doing everything that he could do, he's doing dips and stuff like that, he's doing everything that he can do to physically build himself up. And he's talking to the wise man, and the wise man that's down there, he says, man, you got to do it like the child did it. He's like, what are you talking about? Do it like the child did it. He said, when the child did it, the child was the only one that was ever able to make this leap of faith. When the child did it, though, the child didn't have the rope. The rope was the thing that was holding them back. You got stuff in your life that's holding you back from solving the conflicts, right? You got a safety net that's there. He said, if you want to do it, you need to do it like the child did it. And he did it without the rope. And that's when he made it to the other side. That's conflict that he has within himself, right? Fear. He's like, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of this jump. And the man says, how can you do anything without one of the greatest pushers of life, the fear of death, the fear of dying? Y'all got to go back and watch this movie. I'm telling y'all, man, this was way more profound than you remember. I guarantee it. How can you live every single day without the fear of death? How you living every single day believing that tomorrow is promised? Believing that you're going to wake up tomorrow, believing that you have an opportunity tomorrow when you have no idea if you have an opportunity tomorrow. Conflict is the thing that's changing you. If you went to a movie and everything worked out, you would boo that movie. You would hate that movie. Conflict in your life is supposed to happen. Conflict, nature, man versus nature or environment. Man versus nature or environment. That's the community that you grew up in. That's the family that you were born to. None of us get to pick the family that we're born into. We're born into this family. We inherit this family. We inherit these family traumas that our family never resolved. I got family traumas that my family never resolved. What are they? In my family, we don't really talk about conflict. We don't really talk about problems. We just sweep everything under the rug and just expect you to get over it. It's not a way that you resolve conflicts. It's not how you handle business. It's not a productive way to go about life. That's something that I don't need therapy. I'm not crazy. That's family trauma that's passed down, saying that we don't need therapy, or because you're going to therapy, something is wrong with you. No, you go to therapy because you need a difference of opinion. You go to the people that says that they don't need therapy. These are the people that are closed-minded. These are the people who aren't willing to change their perspective if they're presented enough information. I think I say this almost every single live now. If you are presented enough information, are you willing to change your mind? If you're not willing to be objective in a conversation, then there's no sense in having a conversation. I'm not talking to you. Why do you want me to try to convince you of anything if the first question that I ask you is, if you're presented enough information, are you willing, not will you change your mind, but are you willing to change your mind? If you're presented enough information, if I could present enough information to you that says, and enough data and enough testimonies to you that says, if you put 10% of your income in the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, in 10 years, you will profit 10%. If I can show you enough of that and you still go, nope, I don't believe it. If I can show you 95 out of 100 people that have done something successfully and it's worked for them, the negative mindset automatically says, what if I become one of the two? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Failure consciousness, limiting beliefs, all man versus nature, things that we inherit from our families that they never healed from, that they never taught us how to heal from. Conflict number 2, man versus man. You in conflict with your boss, you in conflict with your friends, with your family, you in conflict, like you in conflict with somebody in general. I just watched the video. I think I'm gonna do a video on it. Guy at McDonald's cussing out everybody at the McDonald's. Conflict, that's conflict right there. Man versus man in that situation. Are you willing? Are you going to do something that could potentially cost you your life, that could potentially cost you your freedom because somebody called you a name? Part of conflict resolution that I teach 3 things is emotional awareness, effective communication, critical thinking, and problem solving. In this situation, you got to ask yourself, yo, am I willing to do the consequences, right? Part of that critical thinking is making sure that we understand the consequences and we're willing to deal with the repercussions or the results of those consequences. Listen, my little cousin was shot and killed, violently shot and killed. 17 times is what was reported. Once in the head, I believe, to finish him off. And there's an idea of who did it. Am I willing to risk my freedom? Am I willing to risk taking care of my family for revenge when every part of me wants to? Can I risk it? It's conflict, man versus man. Conflict, man versus self. Number 3, the most difficult conflict to get over. The most difficult conflict to get over is that conflict within yourself. You are your biggest obstacle. This right here, stinking thinking, is what we used to call it. I think when I was selling insurance, we used to call it stinking thinking. It's what we used to call it, y'all. You lay down with this every day. You eat with this. You sleep with it. You walk through life with it. There's depression. There's anxiety. There's all of these things that are building up conflict, right? This is all conflict, but you got to be able to combat those negative thoughts that you have in your head. You got to be able to work through the depression. You got to be able to work through the anxiety. And let me help you out with this. I've never seen anxiety help a situation. I've never seen depression help a situation. When you start understanding that anxiety and depression won't help your situation, you'll start to say to yourself, I don't know why I'm allowing this thing to hold on to me. You got situations and people living in your head rent free, and you battling within yourself. You battling and then you fighting within yourself because you allowing this thing to live in your head rent free. I ain't never seen a basketball player go to the free throw line and be anxious as I don't know what and shaking up there and he do it and he make the shot. It ain't gonna happen like that. Anxiety will never help a situation. Depression will never help a situation. Listen, if you need a little bit of help, I want you to listen to 2 songs. All right, I'm gonna give you 2 songs. Get something to write with. Please. I'm gonna give you 2 songs that I want you to listen to. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 songs. Ty Tribbett. I think I spelled it right. Only One Night. Ty Tribbett. I'm putting it in the comments right now. Only One Night. Ty Tribbett. Only One Night. You can cry, but only one night though. You can be sad, but only one night though. You can be depressed, but only one night though. What's up, Mika? You can listen. You can feel bad. You can feel sorry. You can be depressed, and you can be as anxious as you want. But only one night though. That's it. You only get one night of this, and then that's it. We need you to catch on, and we need you to move on from this. You get one night. Listen. You need to cry. You need to eat burgers, hot dogs, hamburgers. French fries, some ice cream. You need to drink, be an alcoholic. You can do all of that only one night though. Feel how you're gonna feel. Feel the emotion, y'all. I need you to feel the emotion. I cried recently. I was just in the car, and I can turn on the second song. This second song, James Fortune. Second song, James Fortune, Live Through It. James Fortune, Live Through It. Hey, listen. Come on, yo. James Fortune, Live Through It. Hey, listen to me. Listen to me. You gotta, hey, listen, you gotta live through. And in the beginning of the song, this song saved my life, I promise you. In the beginning of the song, he says, in this life, you will have trouble. You can't avoid it. You can't get around it, but you can live through it. Y'all, Madea is one of the most inspirational fictional characters in the whole entire world. And I love something that Madea said. Madea said, listen, if you're already promised bad days in this world, because none of us are promised a perfect life, if you're already promised bad days, why in the hell would you go about adding on to the bad days that you are already promised? Help me understand. Why would you go about adding to the bad days that you're already promised, right? Because man versus nature is going to take over. There are going to be uncontrollable things that are going to happen to you in your life that you cannot control that are going to take over. And we all understand that. We all know that, right? So if you understand, and now here's the thing. We know you're going to make bad decisions. Bad decisions are a part of life, okay? Bad decisions are a part of life. Thank you so much for the hearts, for the likes, for the gifts over there on TikTok, man. I greatly appreciate y'all. Bad decisions are going to happen in life. They are, okay? The idea is to minimize the severity of those bad decisions. You're going to make bad decisions. But I'd rather you make a bad decision because you were trying something than a bad decision because you were doing nothing. Something that my college coach used to always tell us, right? If you're going to make a mistake going at 100 miles per hour. Some of y'all be making mistakes just because you sitting on the couch and you decided to be lazy every single day. You sitting on the couch deciding to be lazy every single day. Man versus self. Can't motivate yourself. Can't inspire yourself. Can't force yourself to do it. The lack of self-discipline. Lack of self-discipline, being able to do it, even though it's difficult, even though it's hard, even though you don't want to, even though it's even though you're tired, even though it's hot outside, even though it's cold outside, even though your car broke down, even though you don't have a gym. Self-discipline. Can you do it even when you don't feel like doing it? Can you do it even when you don't feel like doing it? Y'all, I don't want to. I don't want to do this right now. I'm reading a book right now. I used to be a miserable F word. Morgs, what's up, Morg? Appreciate the share and appreciate the likes. I'm reading a book right now. Not I used to be a miserable F word. The subtle art of not giving a F. The subtle art of not giving a F. That's what I'm practicing now at this point in my life. The subtle art of not giving a right? Basically doing it and not really caring about what the results are, or not really caring about the judgment of other people. So I think I got what the book is. I think I got the gist of what the book is about, and I feel like I can put the book down. But I'm like, all right, I'm in here now. Let me just go ahead and read a little bit more. But I think the subtle art of not giving a F is essentially doing it and not caring that I got 2 people on live, that I got 1 person over here, that I got no people over here. Listen. The subtle art of not giving an F, y'all. Man versus self. I can motivate and encourage myself to do it. I can do it ugly. I can do it scared. I can do it when it don't look like it's working. I can do it when it doesn't look like and it doesn't feel like I'm getting the support. I can do it when it looks like I'm just talking to myself. I can do it when I'm the only one on the live stream, y'all. I can do it. Can you do it as well? You can, but will you? You can, but will you? See, here's the thing about conflict. Conflict follows a pattern every single time. Every single time. You interpret, you feel something, you make assumptions, communication breaks down, conflict explodes. And that explosion is where conflict is started. That explosion isn't where conflict is started. It's just where everyone noticed it. The conflict actually started the story before you told yourself. Too many times people get in conflict and they argue about the thing like they can change the thing, and they focus on the problem and not the solution. Focus on the solution. The problem already is what it is. Babe, the basement is leaking. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. I came downstairs and then everything was just water everywhere. I try to do this, I try to do that, and I just don't know what happened. Hey, it's already flooded in here. Can we turn the water off? Like the solution would be turn all of the water off. The supply of water, we just need to turn the water off. I don't need to know how it happened, what got damaged, what didn't get damaged, what you did in order to save it. I don't need to know none of that. Turn the water off. You know what I'm saying? Turn the water off, right? I'll give you an example. Your friend doesn't text you back. Right? Your friend, remember, this is how conflict happens, right? Right? An event happens, you interpret it, you feel something, you make the assumption, communication breaks down, conflict explodes, right? Okay, example, all right? Example, your friend, you text your friend and your friend doesn't text back. Here's the fact. They didn't respond. This is the story that you tell yourself. They're ignoring me. They don't respect me. They must be mad. They don't value our friendship. None of those things are facts. They're just interpretations. And we react to our interpretations, not reality. We react to our interpretations, not reality. This is why perspective is so different. This is why communication is a must in conflict resolution. This is why effective communication is a must in conflict resolution. This is why we got to be specific when we communicate. It's the reason why we got to be specific when we communicate, right? I'll tell you. I'll give you an example, right? And I know I already know none of you would even think about this, right? But I want you, for the sake of this conversation, I just want you to humor me. Okay, can y'all do that? If you can do that, just type in the chat. I got you. For the sake of this conversation, just humor me, please. Just humor me. I already know you wouldn't be this interested in your neighbors and all of that stuff. Just humor me, okay? Your neighbor buys an expensive car. How much did it cost? If your neighbor bought an expensive car, how much did it cost? I just want you to put it in the comments. Your neighbor brought an expensive car. How much did it cost? Here's what I can guarantee. My number and your number are not the same. My number, $4 million. What car am I thinking of? The Bugatti that I saw on my Facebook page yesterday. My neighbor bought an expensive car. How much did it cost? At least $1 million. At least $1 million, right? Somebody put 12,000, somebody put 20,000, 70,000, 60,000 on across the different platforms. Here's the thing, y'all. This is how conflict happens because your perception is different than mine. Expensive to me and you is very different. Expensive is relative, right? Somebody call you on the phone, you say, yo, I'm gonna call you back later. When is later? Somebody call you on the phone, you say, hey, yo, I'm busy right now. I'm gonna call you back later. When is later? Later to some people could be 5 minutes. Later to some other people could be when I'm not busy. Later for some people could be tomorrow. Later for most of y'all is never. Later for most of y'all is gonna be you're gonna have to call me back in order to get this phone call back. But these things are relative. This is why we have to have great communication, right? That's why perception matters. Two people exchange experience the same exact event and leave believing two completely different stories. Why we struggle in conflict the most? It's because of one of these reasons: poor communication, lack of communication, assumptions, different expectations, different values, lack of empathy, lack of understanding. Notice something. Very few conflicts start because somebody wakes up wanting problems. Most people are simply operating from different experiences, different families, different trauma, different values, different environments. When you understand that, you stop asking who's right and you start asking, what am I missing? That question changes everything. It changes everything, right? So for somebody, I'll call you back later is in 1 hour, right? For me, it's if I remember. Let's start there. It's if I remember. I'm gonna call you back if I remember. Yes, I can see. Yeah, sometimes you got to laugh at yourself, right? Tonight, I don't want you. I don't want you to avoid conflict. I want you to become curious about it. The next time somebody frustrates you, don't immediately ask, why are they acting like this? Ask, what information do they have that I don't? What experience shaped the way they see this? What assumptions am I making? Conflict isn't your enemy. Conflict is information. It tells you where understanding is missing. It tells you where expectations haven't been discussed. It tells you where communication needs to improve. And if you learn to manage conflict, you'll be a better leader. You'll be a better parent, a better partner, a better entrepreneur, a better friend. Because every relationship, every business, every team, every family will experience conflict. The people who win aren't the ones who avoid conflict. They are the ones who know how to navigate it. They know how to navigate it because they understand. They understand that life doesn't get easier, you get better. Let me ask you today, what did you do to get better? What did you do to get better today? You went to the gym today, you went and worked out physically, but you didn't work out mentally. Now, working out physically is getting better, but you got to get better in every area of your life: your spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, relational, financial, financial, professional. And yes, I know that's a bunch of different areas of your life, but you don't have to get better in every area every single day. Maybe today it's on Sunday, it's spiritual. And then on every day of the week through the weekday, it's your physical. And then every, once a week, it's your emotional. Once a week, it's your mental. And then once a week, it's your financial, right? You're going over your financial plan, right? But like the physical is what you're doing 5 days a week or 2 days a week or something like that. And here's the thing, you don't have to go out and do a tough mutter or something like that, right? Just get active and just be. A body at rest stays at rest. A body in motion stays in motion. Read the book Atomic Habits, and they say that bad habits are autocatalytic, meaning they feed themselves. The reason why you're tired is because you don't go to the gym, and you don't go to the gym. That's the reason why you're tired. Isn't this amazing how this ugly little cycle of stuff, it just feeds itself? It feeds itself. I'm tired, so I don't go to the gym, but I don't go to the gym, and that's the reason why I'm tired. It's the reason why I can't get out of bed. It's the reason why I don't drink water, because I'm tired. And I'm tired because I don't drink water. I don't drink water. I don't go to the gym, so I don't drink water. I'm not forced to drink any more water because I'm not expelling all of these toxins that I have in me, right? So you can literally relate tired, water, and the gym. And all three of these little ugly things, they just feed each other over and over and over again. Don't avoid conflict in your life. Don't avoid conflict in your life. Conflict is a natural part of your life, y'all. If this helped you get in your bag, I know this helped you get in your bag, man. I'm gonna be doing this live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna be doing this live every Tuesday night. It's in my bag with Backpack Jeff, and then we're gonna be having family meetings on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Man, we're gonna be reacting live to some videos that have been popping, that have been going across social media, conflict resolution things, man. And teaching how to react and how to respond in these situations, man. We want to play games. We want to have fun. We just want to have a good time. If you want to do that, if you want to, be a part of that, man, make sure y'all tap in with me Friday nights at 7 p.m. We are live, yo. I know it's going to be dope. I know you're going to have a good time. Come tap in with your favorite mentor, man. I'm Backpack Jeff. Make sure y'all take this conversation, put it in your bag, and use this throughout your life. I guarantee it's going to be something that's going to help you, man. I'm going to see y'all next time.